What's up, fam? Welcome back to Recap Kickback, where I'm here to talk about the season finale and extended uncensored reunion show of Summer House Martha's Vineyard Season 2. Okay, I'm Chappell, your host, and with me, the person who introduced me to this crazy world of Summer House, maybe for the last time for Martha's Vineyard. We'll see. We will see. With me, we have my co-host Sasha. Sasha, welcome back.
We're here for one
Yeah,
last time in perpetuity.
yeah. Or as a pause. This might be a pause on our Summer House Martha's Vineyard coverage here. TBD. We will
I
see.
can't believe it. I'm just in shock. Like Bravo hates me, and I
Mhm.
do take it personal. I'll say that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
mm, they
No,
hate shows with people of color, and you can't tell
talk
me
about it.
otherwise.
Talk about it, Sasha.
Because Family Karma and all Indian cast gone. I'm not saying the ratings were that great, but like how do we push these shows more? Now Summer as Martha's Vineyard on pause. Southern Charm New Orleans paused, gone, whatever. Shaws of Sunset gone. I'm confusion.
Yeah, it's not looking great. It's not looking great for these minority led shows, and we have a lot to talk about when it comes to that. But of course, I want to thank you all for being back here
Yeah.
with us again for another recap. Thank you all for subscribing. If you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, what are you doing? We're on a journey for 1,000 listeners, and we're creeping up on it, 1,000 subscribers, and so that's where we're pushing. So please hit that subscribe button. Go to recapkickback.com/subscribe to show your love for the podcast. And of course, feel free to hop in the comments and let us know what you think about this season. That is potentially the last season of Summer House Martha's Vineyard. With a question mark. I will say that. Let's leave a question mark on that just for a
Mhm.
moment, and we will talk about all the things that happened leading to that point. So we gotta jump in. We got a finale, something that we don't see on the other show we talk about on the other Bravo show Sasha and I talk about Below Deck. We don't
Mhm.
get finales anymore. So I was very excited that we got the Summer House Martha's Vineyard finale. And in that finale, Andy wasn't pulling any punches, Sasha. I mean, he came out the gate being shady.
But then talked about nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
I
Gave
was
us
like,
nothing.
Andy was just dragging the cast. That's it.
Yeah,
Like that
he
was
he
a
was us.
reunion.
Yeah, he was just on Twitter like making jokes. That's exactly how I felt. Like,
Yes.
so Amir, has Natalie cut your balls off yet? It's like, nope, still here.
Like, is your
Like,
penis still here? Are you all right?
yeah,
But we
he
still
can.
don't know why they hate Jasmine.
Yeah, and it feels like Jasmine doesn't know either. So I definitely want to talk about all of that.
Yes.
But overall, how did you feel about the finale slash reunion special of this season?
hmm I still think it was needed. I just
Mhm.
felt like they just didn't cover enough. That's it. But I loved the finale. I felt like it was nice. We still have some Nick, Natalie drama, and the Gossip Girls are gossip girling, of course. But all that to say, we need some single people.
Yeah, these couples, these people coming in as pairs, it doesn't give us a lot of drama. I mean, Amir and Natalie, actually, as much as I would like to say that they're kind of some party poopers on this show,
hmm
they are probably the biggest amount of like just organic drama that we've gotten in a minute. So
Yep.
I don't know. I'm torn between being very annoyed at them and also being like, well, if they're not here doing this, stirring the pot, then what's exactly going on? So we do have to talk about that. But this has been a wild season of television. We got Jasmine's pregnancy announcement. We got Alex drama, followed by
hmm
some Nick drama, Shanice versus Summer,
Yes.
Natalie versus Nick with Amir as the proxy. So much to dive into, and a finale to follow up on some of the questions that we've been having. So one of the things I want to get out of the way, yes, we talked about it here on this podcast. Jasmine has had the baby. Very congratulations
Woo-hoo.
to them.
Yes.
Silas Jr.
Yes.
Baby
Baby
Cooper is what
Coop.
they were calling it. Yeah,
Mhm.
Coop is here. Gave birth 6 months after the airing of the show. Jasmine seems like she's taking to motherhood fine. Everything seems great. We didn't get any indication that there was any problem with that. And the finale episode ends with it looks like the cast is rallying behind her. But in
Yep.
the reunion, we got a question for Jasmine, and it said, "Who do you think of the cast, and this is a wild question. Who do you think of the cast has been the least supportive of you and your new baby? And I thought we'll just laugh this question off, right? Like, what?
Yep.
Who ranks who's the most supportive or least supportive when it comes to something like this? But Jasmine has an answer. She
I love
says,
it.
"Well, Summer, no, not Summer." She said, "Well, Jordan, I'm not quite loving the things that you said on the show about my man." And I was like, "Oh," because I forgot that
Yes.
Jordan had made the offhand comment that maybe this wasn't Silas's first rodeo when it comes to kids. What is Jordan getting at here? She says it was a joke, but is there any truth to what she's saying?
Well, not to paint with a broad brush, but Silas is in the military.
It
And
be
there
happening.
are some stereotypes that might be true of said
Right.
military, if you know what I mean.
Right. Which honestly, Sasha, is a very good, like it's a very good joke and it's rooted in some truth.
Mhm.
But Jasmine seemingly took offense to this. And Jasmine and Jordan, based on what we can tell, they're still not on the same page after all of this.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I must say, I think it's hard when Jordan says 7 words and 6 of them are shading you.
Right. And the rest are just Jordan hand motions
Yep. Oh my I couldn't breathe.
at the
Like
impression.
I couldn't breathe because it's the way we knew that, right? Like we knew
Mhm.
that, oh yeah, like Jordan is kind of hidden. She isn't really around a lot. She's not saying too much. She's dealing with her own journey, whatever, whatever. But then you actually put it together and you're just like, oh, it's not just me that thinks she's on mute. Everyone just sees her and her mic is just like turned off at all times.
Yeah. I mean, when she speaks up, you hear her for sure. Like, Jordan's going to
Mhm.
make her opinion known and she's going to let us know exactly how she feels about whatever situation is going
Yes.
on. Like, we've seen her get very, I think Jasmine called it aggressive, like, oh, like, I'll check
Mhm.
you when you get aggressive and I hope you check me too. But for me, seeing that the initial friendship, right, that we
Yeah.
got on this show was Jasmine and Jordan. And to see that it's kind of fallen apart and not in a very dramatic fashion. It's
Mhm.
like it's almost like little micro issues that they're having with each other, like little tiny things, little tiny
Correct.
cuts that are just building up. Because we even go back to the first season. Jasmine is trying to figure out why her and Jordan fell off, and Jordan's like, "Remember season 1 where you were trying to be matchmaker? I didn't like that." Sasha, are they
Mhm.
still holding a grudge about this, about the way she was acting? Because I don't know. It feels like that was a long time ago. I get it, but what are we doing?
So here's the thing. I think that they just don't get along. I
Yeah.
think that's just the best way of saying
They're
it.
different people.
Yes, and I don't know that they will ever be friends again because they're in different stages, and I think there's ways to be friends, right, with married people. I don't think married people are, like, shunned or should be like, "Oh, now you only do one thing." I think there's a way that you both have to meet in the middle with your maturing friendship,
Mhm.
and they're just not able to do that, and I don't know that any of them this is not calling anyone out. I just feel like either they just weren't that close of friends before or they're just not girls.
Yeah, it's tough it's tough to be able to tell, right? Because we obviously saw and
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were anti Jasmine after the first season,
Yes.
and even the
Yes.
viewership, right?
Me.
Were
Yeah.
watching it and being like, "Hey, stop pushing these people together. Stop trying to force a
Correct.
relationship on Jordan, all that stuff." So we move past that, and
Yep.
Jasmine tells us in the reunion special that maybe she feels like she's not the same person that she was when she became friends with Jordan, and that's okay. Like
Mhm.
I've changed. Jordan was even saying it. Like it came off inauthentic. The way she's acting is not what I'm used to. She's like this homemaker now who's trying to match make everybody, and she's
Mhm.
so involved in trying to get everybody together. She's trying to sell me off to the highest bidder, and
Yep.
and it's Amir who I don't want. And Jasmine's like, yeah, I hear that you see that, but for me, it's just that I'm not the person that you met. I'm now
Yep.
married. I now have other concerns, other interests, and we don't align on that. And so it looks like you said, these two are never, ever, ever getting back together. Like
Ever.
ever. Yeah.
And again, that's fine. I just think there's a way to still make things work. You know what I mean? In a friendship, in a relationship that isn't this toxic. That's my question about all of this. Like, why are we not letting Jasmine come to Jamaica? It actually never got answered.
Well, yeah. So they talk about that at the reunion, and they
Yeah.
say, okay, well, Jasmine missed the Jamaica trip. Jasmine's like, yeah, I would love to know why everybody is mad at me,
Mhm.
because like I can get why Jordan would be upset with me. I think she
Yes.
had some beef with Summer, and so she's like, well, I get why those two people are upset with me, but why was I not included? Why was I left off of Bad and Bougie? And Shanice is the one who speaks up. She says, I was the first one that says,
Yep.
hey, I don't want you there, but it's because I don't want any drama. Jasmine pushes back and says, oh, so I'm drama? And she says, no, but with Noelle having beef with you, with Jordan having beef with you, with X amount of people, I didn't want that to have to come, to come to the party, right? I didn't want that to be involved. And for Shanice, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
But for people like Preston, Jasmine is like, hey, where were you? Where were your antennas when it was time? Because you and I are friends. And so, yeah, the disillusion of Jasmine and Preston has been interesting to watch, because not only is Jasmine and Preston, they were friends, Jasmine feels like she's responsible for Preston even meeting all of these people. Did you feel like she had a point?
100%. Listen, I am big on hating friend jumpers. Like you and Jason hanging out without me. No, I'm just kidding.
We sent 3 texts, and then we also planned the 3 trips, and I've seen them twice. No,
you won't. That's what I'm saying. And then no, I'm just kidding. But no, I do think that this does happen sometimes where people friend jump you. I just am, and I just mean it as confusion more than shade to Preston. I just want to know what happened. You see what I'm saying? Because he's Silas's line brother, and he was in the wedding.
Yeah, and when asked about Silas, he also says, they asked who missed Silas this season.
Yes.
And Preston's hand does not go up for his own frat brother / line brother, and
So to me, it's again, everyone else, we can be like, they just weren't ever friends. So, you click with different people. One person, it's their job to bring everyone together, but then you click and you move on with your life. But this was crazy because this does feel personal. And I do feel like there should be some loyalty, to Jasmine, or at least like update her on the why, if nothing else, right?
Yeah, Preston's response is something to the effect of, I didn't miss Silas because there was nothing to miss, because we haven't talked in a while, and he can take some accountability for that because Silas is gone, but also he hasn't really reached out. But I don't know, that combined with everything else just kind of feels like, what are you talking about? Because I got line brothers and I don't talk to them all the time. But I don't know. I feel like if I go that long without talking to them, especially if they're overseas, like fighting for their country, protecting the country or whatever, like their life could be in danger. I probably would be a little bit more attentive to trying to make sure that relationship is, or at least check on my LBs, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It feels like there's something there that we're missing. Maybe Preston isn't feeling the new Jasmine. She says that she might not be the same person that Jordan met, but maybe, married Jasmine and Silas aren't who Preston was comfortable with in the first place.
Again, you would think Andy would ask all of these questions.
He only had so much time, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm losing it.
Yeah, these are the questions I need answers to, because we do have some more Preston drama. Apparently, at the time of the reunion, Preston and Bria are no longer cool. They say they're like siblings. They fight. They their relationship's hard to understand. But Bria blocked him. She's quick to block. She blocked him on Instagram, and she says she will unblock him when they finally come together. Are you surprised by the breakup between Preston and Bria?
No, because I bet you 5 days later, they're all going to be
it's fine. Yeah.
I don't know.
Though.
Could you be friends with someone where you're this on and off?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I could either.
Yeah, I need like a level of consistency. I'm not really like, because it's so much drama, and I'm not laying that at the feet of Preston or Bria. Even though it'd be real easy to lay that at the feet of Bria. It would be so easy to do that. Like I'm not gonna do that. Because I think that she has some valid points too. She's talking about even some of the stuff that she sees on television, where there's some jokes made at her expense. I mean, on the first episode, Preston, and I forgot about this clip of him talking about how she looks like she tried for Miss USA and Mark. I'm like, damn, that's supposed to be your homie, and they lighten you up in the confessional like that. It might be tough to let that go.
And that's the thing. I just feel like everyone is just like being shady. So why don't we just let it go? You see what I'm saying? Like everyone has said and done wrong to each other. So why aren't we just being like, and what? We're doing it for the show. Because
Yeah.
all the juicy stuff, I feel like, is not even being recorded. It's them going on podcasts. Like Noelle is going on podcasts, giving us all this crazy tea. Then this person is here. That person's on Twitter. That person on Instagram. What? Do it on camera.
Yeah, please. Because some of the other off-camera drama that we've gotten this season, apparently Bria got arrested in the south of France. Yeah. What? Where did that come from? This is news to me.
And Preston was like, I call lawyers for you. And I was like, did you Google and call, or were you like,
I think he knows international lawyer. Yeah, it seemed like he knew international lawyers and called in a favor.
Mhm.
And so Preston feels like, because I did all that stuff for you, we should be better than this, right? Like, you should not then be able to block me off of some offhanded comments on a television show or whatever petty drama we have. And there's also some question about whether she even thanked him. He says, you didn't even thank me for that. And Bria insists that she did. I don't think there's a world where he got lawyers involved for her and she didn't thank him. That just feels like, I don't know, man.
Right? I mean, I think that she probably didn't thank him in the way that he was ready to receive it.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's why it was a little bit more.
Yeah, because I'm thinking in the moment, who wouldn't thank someone in the moment? You know what I'm saying? It feels a little off to me. But there's plenty of Bria drama to go around because, Bria, I don't know. We start the final episode of the season. Talking about, I guess, which is the big Bria drama, which is the blowout between her and Nick, where Nick is still not letting go of this conversation. I mean, we ended basically mid-conversation last episode, but Nick is still trying to get to the bottom of why Bria is insinuating that he has wandering eyes, and specifically in her direction. And he even brings up the cuddle companion?
Sleep comfort buddy.
Sleep comfort buddy. Yeah, comfort buddy or something like that. Yeah. I think Nick is making valid point. I'm telling you, Sasha, if I'm Nick, I'm never letting this go. I'm sorry. You're not going to tell people on TV and then go to my girlfriend behind my back and tell her that I've been flirting with you, I've had wandering eyes, and then I'm supposed to just let it go. He's a better person than me.
And write it off as girl talk. Listen, girl talk can get crazy, but if there's not a girl, if there is a girly that gets it out, you know what I mean, and tells everyone else, I don't like that. I don't need that.
Yeah, because every time they bring it up, they're like, it was girl talk. It's like, that you're talking about me, though. You're talking about me. You know what I'm saying? And your perception of me matters, especially if you're Nick. I feel like Nick is somebody who holds his perception in a high regard. Like, he tries to present himself a certain way. He says, my run club looks at me a certain way. My friends and family look at me a certain way. I don't need this like underlying issue. People walking around talking about I'm basically like waiting for the opportunity to cheat on my girlfriend. I don't need that being what's talked about when it comes to me. Correct. And these two episodes to me have been very damning for Bria, because Bria in the moment is like, I don't even talk about you. What are you talking about? I don't think about you. Remember? Yeah, you flirted with me, and we're getting flashbacks. And Sasha, is the flirting in the room?
Thank you, because everyone is I'm like, are y'all acting? Do you want your Oscars? Because I don't see the flirting, or if it is flirting, they're both flirting. Yeah, and sometimes you have that relationship with a friend where you're just kind of like, whatever, that's just how y'all talk. But you both know that it's just in the moment and that's it. That's what it was giving me.
Yeah. But she's presenting it to us. Yeah, from as a television perspective, we see her presenting it like, he's with somebody and he's flirting with me, someone who's with somebody, not
me.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think he pursued her at all, even a little bit. So when we get to our reunion special, I just don't think they hit this point hard enough, because it's starting to feel like in her absence, the girls that kind of stirred this up are really trying to put this on Natalie and just move away from it.
Which, again, I think that is the smart thing to do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like, blame her. We don't know her.
Anything. Natalie's crazy ass. Now that everyone hates her anyway. It's her. It's not us. It's her. It's just like dragging her to hell and back. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. Especially because, Natalie is the one who told Tasia, but she would not have had anything to tell Tasia if y'all weren't speaking so recklessly about Nick in front of her. Now, Natalie is another person who we definitely have to talk about in this whole thing. She is our invisible other member of the house. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like, she's not an official member of the cast, but she has stirred up so much in these last 2 episodes that, I mean, she is probably the headline of this season is what is going on with Natalie and Amir. And so we see, on television that Natalie is involved in a lot of the drama. Like, she's in, anytime someone's in a conversation, she is the telephone. She is the one running it around. I cannot fault this woman. I know that sometimes when you get good juicy mess, you got to tell somebody. So, hey, it happens, but we're not going to act like it didn't happen, And I think from Amir's standpoint, he had not watched the show. So he doesn't know that Natalie has been doing all that. So we're getting Amir in the real time being like, now, why are y'all talking about my girlfriend again? What's the issue? Why she's not even here to defend herself? She's already left. What's going on? And while they're telling him, hey, she was messy, he's like, no, y'all trying to put this on her while she's gone. And I think there's truth to maybe both of those things, Sasha.
That's what I was going to say. And I also think like Amir is just not a trustworthy person to listen to. He is so with her.
Far up her ass.
Thank you. He probably tastes what she had, what she has for breakfast, he has for dinner. It's fine. That's a relationship. But he's not reliable to me. And I just can't believe she didn't get more drama from Nick, right? Like, Nick should have been like, no, she did be messy, because the girls ended up, pulling back, and ta-da, she's the only one left standing.
Yeah. She dips before all of this happens. But when the smoke clears, Simon is gone, and so is Natalie. They're both gone, but everybody else has to deal with the wrath of Nick. And then even the backdoor argument with Amir, because later on he hears that the girls are talking about this. And he's like, well, Natalie's not there to defend herself, so y'all should bring me into the conversation. What exactly is happening? And so Bria addresses it, and Amir doesn't like the answers he's getting. And next thing you know, they're in a shouting match. And I believe Bria said something to the effect of, I don't like to argue, which is wild, because you do something you don't like a lot. Like a lot.
Stand up. This is so embarrassing. I mean, listen, City Girl's up 1,000 because of Amir, but I just don't understand him. Like, do you think that he just, there are those people, right, that just want to be in a relationship so bad that they'll just put up with it? Because how are you going to get the loan in your name, but the deed is under her name?
Ooh, yeah. So let's jump to that.
Sorry, I'm all over the place, but
no, we're covering 2 episodes. The reunion is definitely going to color away a lot of the things we see in the finale. So I know this is perfectly fine, because it's been a year and a half, and there's already a home being purchased by Amir and Natalie. And she got the deed, but the loan has his name. And Andy says it best. What could possibly go wrong with that, right? It should be fine.
And everyone laughed in that man's face.
Yeah. That's probably the most difficult part for Amir, is that, he looked at Natalie as somebody who came in. She was doing something nice for Tasia and telling Tasia about the potential, Nick issue. And he did that. And now he's seeing a lot of conflicting information, right? And then he's going back home to Natalie, who's probably like, who would you believe, me or your lying eyes? And he kind of like, damn, we bought a house. We're in a relationship. It's my job to believe you. We talked about this on our podcast about Below Deck, where sometimes even when you're wrong, you want your partner to stick beside you, And I think Amir is getting to the point where it's hard to ignore the amount of influence Natalie had while she was in the house on some of the drama that was happening.
Listen, you cannot distinguish the red flags when they're all red.
Yeah.
They're just flags. That's what's happening. And I think he is so 10 toes down for her that now he's in too deep. He's like, no, but the clown suit is fully on, let alone the nose. So now I just have to sit in this, and I will tell you that this is the newest fashion that you didn't know about, baby, because this clown suit, A1. That's where Amir is. He's gone. Because how can the whole cast tell you that they don't think this girl's right for you and you're still like not embarrassed? Instead, you just want her on the cast.
Yeah. He says Natalie would love to come back and be on the show to tell her point of view of what happened. But I'm like, Natalie, we seen it. We saw it. We saw what happened.
And what is she? This is not what the show is about.
Yeah. She has become an unofficial cast member. I think she's more likely to come back to a show like this than Amir is. You know,
at this point, yes. Yeah. She's gonna be on Summer House like regular.
Right. Because there's a moment when she leaves and Amir says, "Whoa, okay, Natalie's gone, and I'm worried because when she was here, I didn't have to worry about getting in trouble. But with her leaving, I have to go back to tempering myself." What does that? Do you hear yourself, Amir? You have to temper yourself because she's gone. You should act the same way when she's there, and when she's not there, think that, oh, because I act like this all the time, this is fine. Like the way that you present yourself should not change because she left. So
then that gives that other person a reason to think that you're being shady.
Exactly. Even though you're not. So you're now like, you're like putting yourself in timeout for something you ain't even did. So she don't have to charge you up. Do you hear this? Dog, come on, man. Come. You said it. You said it. It wasn't us. You said it out loud.
And they're like fighting about what, Chappell? About, oh, you looked at Jordan. Jordan don't want him.
Right.
Nobody wants your man.
And it wasn't even Jordan. It was not Jordan. He thought it was Jordan. It wasn't. Yeah. That's what I said. Bruh, is this really what's happening? So thoughts and prayers out to Amir, because he feels like this Natalie relationship is really putting maybe a strain on his friendship with everybody else. Obviously, it's really hard to be with a bunch of people who don't respect your relationship. Mm-hmm. So I'm imagining that things aren't that great. But we even see that him and Nick, who have been cool, they have not bounced back from this at all. And I think it's probably because Nick wants Natalie and Amir to really take accountability for her participation in this. And they have not been able to come to an agreement about this. You know, and Amir was the one who was kind of like, again, since he's so in the Natalie corner, he's talking about the way he would act versus the way Nick is acting. He said Nick has wandering eyes. And it's literally a scene of all of the girls in the house twerking next to him and him looking.
Yes. But Sasha, I would look. I don't care about it.
I was like, Sasha, you're married. How would you feel in this moment? Do you feel like Amir has a good point about the way Nick is interacting in that moment? Because he wants to be very clear that he's not saying Nick has a wandering eye all the time, just those times.
So listen, I'm jealous, but if Karthik, like my husband, comes to me and is like, oh my God, this crazy thing happened, I'd be like, oh my God, tell me more. Like, what happened? And would I like tease him and be like, oh, you just wanted to look, blah, blah. Of course. But to me, it's human nature to watch. What? If I'm watching people, I would be like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, why are they dancing like that? Or, oh, I want to do, whatever that may mean. I just feel like it's only human to look. What has happened? It's not like he was being a creep, like, like the Birdman, like
the hand
rub and the mouth, licking his lips. Like, he's just like, what's happening? If anything, let's not forget the Freaknik where Shanice was like, but hey, I'll mess with you tonight. Sorry, Tasia. Da, da, da. What about that? That's okay to say about your friend that's in a relationship. So I just feel like if you have that relationship, right, where you can say that about someone, to be like, I'm gonna have sex with you tonight because you look really good, then you should also understand that when you're twerking, they might look at you. That's all I'm saying. It just has to be like apples to apples. Like to me, they're just talking to talk.
Yeah, because it feels like they're holding Nick to a standard about like his eyes when nobody seemed to holding themselves to a standard about the dancing, right? It's like Nick should not look at the people dancing next to him. It's like, well, maybe you shouldn't dance next to the person who's in a relationship. Like we can all hold each other accountable. You know what I'm saying? But if they can friendly dance next to me, I can friendly look. You know what I'm saying? As long as we don't cross any boundaries. But Amir says this as if That's the woman he's talking about. But the show does make it look like Amir is saying that about Nick in general. Like, I would never do that with my girlfriend because Natalie would, she cut my thing off. You know what I'm saying? So this is tough because I liked Amir season 1. By the end of season 2, I'm like, okay, the Natalie and Amir stuff, while it is a source of drama, it seems to be making it uncomfortable for the rest of the cast to even exist. And knowing that we get a pause, I'm questioning, if that's part of the reason, that they're never able to come back around on some of these, like, hot topics, because we find out Nick and Tasia are no longer together. And it's hard to believe that this didn't have something to do with it.
That's what I was going to say. And just the way, right, you and I talked about this last episode, but the way Nick talked about Tasia in the confessionals, it was giving like, oh, I need to make sure I'm saying all the right things. I need to make sure I'm, saying that I love this person that I'm with. It just felt a little bit too, this is how I should act. And
maybe
it's unfortunate.
Because, they filmed the confessionals afterwards. So, like, maybe by that time, he was already in hot water or the relationship was already ending. And he's saying, like, here are all the ways that I should have presented myself better. But, they broken up. And Nick was telling us that he was ready to propose and all kinds of other stuff. Like, this is a hell of a fall from grace, for this relationship. Now, RIP to their relationship. But also, if Summer Martha's Vineyard comes back with a single Nick, we might get some good TV.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, they robbed us of single Nick. I feel like single Nick would be what we thought Alex would be.
Yeah, like a good time, having fun, maybe in some mess or whatever, maybe some love triangles or something like that. But yeah, this whole time he's been so loyal to Tasia that, although he's gotten some touching conversations have happened, where he's had to like temper that. But aside from that, I mean, like, he hasn't really done nothing. He ain't met nobody, he haven't hooked up with nobody. He's not flirting with anybody unless you agree with Bria that inviting somebody to Nobu is flirting with them. Okay. But
listen, if you want to pay for my Nobu bill, that's crazy.
Right.
I do think you're in love with me for doing that.
You're like, all right, so you must be obsessed with me.
You want to buy me a $20 taco that's smaller than my fist? Obviously.
Fine.
We're in love.
Yeah. At least you want to have sex with me, obviously. Look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're drunk enough, as Bria says, if you're drunk enough, I'm just saying, we were both single and you were both drunk enough.
Imagine someone saying that about your partner, to be like, if they were drunk enough, I could get it.
And then acting like it was nothing. Like, we say that kind of stuff all the time. What are you talking about? Like, Bria, come on, man.
Then don't be mad that he's looking at you twerking. What? That's what I'm saying. The hypocrisy. And no one's calling it out, because I feel like everyone comes in with an agenda and they don't care who fits it or doesn't.
Yeah, no, everybody's trying to get their last little piece of information out for, like, to kind of talk about what stood out to them the most in the season, which is why we keep seeing Jasmine kind of being like, now back to why everybody's mad at B, when I'm like, Jasmine, chill, chill. Like, we like you. We like you. It's just let me figure out the rest of this drama. That's more interesting. No disrespect. The other drama we get, some big drama, obviously, Shanice versus Summer. And then Summer versus the world. So
you mean
pick a beef. Pick a beef with Autumn. Yeah, pick a beef with Summer and just go from there. She's beefing with Noelle.
Oh my God. And Noelle has gone on multiple podcasts talking all this stuff about Summer. So the biggest piece I will say about Noelle is, like, Noelle did not let up on Summer, because she's like, oh, Andy, you want her to keep talking? No, I'm gonna finish. I get to talk.
Okay, so the conversation with Andy is it goes as such. We have to catch up with Summer because Summer left the episode. She quit a day early, kind of like
Barbie.
Some other people that we've seen in Below Deck, recently. If you caught that finale, you know exactly what we're talking about. But Summer does just this. She waits till the end of the summer and then she leaves before everybody else does, because she just can't be involved in a lot of the drama anymore. It's gotten too heavy. It's too much. And her and Noelle are not going to be on the same page at the end of the season. And by the reunion, they're still not on the same page, because when Summer tells her version of the story, she says, I told Noelle
Yeah.
that Alex was inside of me. I did. And then Noelle proceeded to still go after him. Noelle interrupts to make sure it's clear that Summer had not said those things about Alex and that Noelle was not aware that they had hooked up. Summer feels like when you say you hung out with somebody, that's the implied meaning.
Which is crazy out of
I was going to ask
pocket.
you, who do you believe? Who do you believe? Who do you believe?
So Noelle also went on this other podcast and was talking about this again. And yeah, she was like, she just kept saying like it was for the show, Summer, and that it was like just a flirting thing. We hung out. And Noelle was like, I hang out with my brother. I don't hang out. Like sex is sex. I think you should say hook up. I don't saying hanging out is crazy.
Does hookup automatically mean sex, or is there like a gray area?
For me, it does.
Okay.
Like, why are you like 5? I don't know.
What if they got drunk and like started kissing in the club, like make love in this club type situation?
Then I think you have to say like we kiss. I think when you say hook up,
that means sex.
It means more than upper body, like boob touch.
Yeah, you got like hook up is like on this side of the meter.
Yeah.
What about Wendell in Survivor said you kicked it? How is kicked it?
No. That's hanging out.
That's hanging out, yeah. So there is a gray area there. And I think Noelle, like you said, her agenda was to make sure that nobody was going to allow Summer to lie and say that Noelle was under the impression that she was breaking the girl code, right? That she was going after somebody who Summer was interested in and had been with intimately.
Yeah.
So we do talk about the events of that night. And I think what we ultimately land on is that Noelle doesn't trust Summer. She's like, nah, Summer's trying to pay me as a liar, and I refuse to let it happen. And so there's no love between those two people anymore. And it's kind of sad because we do see at the end of the season that Noelle really was trying to make an effort to meet Summer where she was, but Summer's just going through so much at the time that there's no healing there. Not at the time of filming.
Yeah, and turns out this is the big drop for me because there's some like basketball game drama, but like it's too much. Y'all check it out. But the biggest thing was, and it's from the Chempire. That's their Twitter name. They posted a few videos, and it says that Summer, of course, lied about the extent of the relationship with Alex because Summer dated or was actually dating Noelle's roommate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So it comes full circle. Yeah.
Yes. So I think there's just like a lot of entanglements, and a lot of people have gotten caught up in this that shouldn't have been.
Yeah. And the show does lead us to believe that a lot of it is Summer's fault because Summer's going through so much of her personal issues right now. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, at some point, you have to be able to learn how to process these things. I think someone brings it up like, okay, well, I think it's Alex says, well, because you're hurt and you've gone through trauma, does that automatically give you a pass to then hurt people and then just be like, well, I'm going through stuff. I'm tricky. And Summer points out that, but I also don't know that I can't process things like that until it happens, right? Correct. Like it happens and then you have to deal with it, and everybody's going to deal with those things differently. And so I'm willing to extend Summer some grace, and I hope everybody else does, but I also don't think you have to take abuse, and so for Noelle, it's clear that you need to separate yourself from this, and maybe y'all don't have to be friends, but Summer sounds like she's open to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just think there's a way to correctly say, like, I thought that hooking up or hanging out is the same thing, and I'm sorry that you didn't understand it. Fine, right? I think that's fine. And then it felt a little bit gaslighty when she was like, but I told you, I'm sorry. Wasn't explicit, like saying he was bleep, 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 inside me, like naming all these things. I just feel like she's being petty. It's not necessary. And I do think that Noelle was like left out to dry a little bit.
Yeah. Well, there is another moment too, where Summer says, and once you found out that he was inside me, you still pursued him. And I was like, wait, what? But Noelle completely shuts that down. She's like, we flirted in the house. That's it. I never pursued him. So yeah, miscommunication all around, or Summer feels completely differently about the situation, the Alex conversation though,
yes,
right?
yes.
Alex is accused repeatedly of being an F-boy. He claims he never used that word. Summer has put that word on him, and Jasmine's confused about why you would say that about Alex. The audience is apparently confused because we get a question that says we've never seen Alex do anything except be transparent about his feelings and about what he wanted, and then you all have been projecting everything else upon him. But Alex does say something very interesting. He says, yeah, I could have easily been an F-boy. Look at Noelle. She's right there. She's beautiful. I could have been an F-boy with him, but I chose to do the right thing. And I'm like, oh.
That's what I'm saying. They are not like me. They're not toxic like me. Because I would have been like, and that is what F-boys say. I was like, you're not an F-boy. I was like, I would have been like, you are the president of F-boys. Because F-boys are dumb. And that's stupid games. What you do is even it's like a PhD in F-boy where you will act like you're a good person and say, I love, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And then do all this shady stuff.
Yeah. It was very much
they
like
let him get away with too much.
That was, I flinched at home. I was like, come on, man, damn it. You had them. You had them on the ropes. And, he said that. And they're like, what does that mean? And he goes, no. I mean, like, I did what was good for me. I'm like, yeah, you're trying to save it, but the F-boy slipped right out because the idea that I'm doing what I am perceiving y'all to want me to do to present myself as a good person, it's like, but you're doing it intentionally, right? It's not like that's not who I am. That is what I am giving you, right? I checked all the boxes. Why are you not okay with this? It's like you're covering your ass the whole time to make sure that, okay, I said these things. So I was very intentional about saying them. I was transparent. So I said we were not in a relationship and I didn't want more. But then you go and treat that person like you want more, right? You go and have sex with them, you take them out, blah, blah, blah. And then when they say, well, we're in a relationship, you're like, nope, I never said that. It's like, you didn't, but your actions did. He's like, what? But I never said it. I told you, and so it felt like he almost got caught slipping a little bit there. Alex, I have to, come on, man. You was doing so well. City Boys was up.
He's just playing with rookies. So that's why I think he gets off that he's not an F-boy, blah, blah, blah. But it's so obvious that he is. And that's why I can't help but giggle. Because I was like, I wouldn't want to mess with him. He would, I think, have me in a blender too.
Yeah, that's a dangerous man. That's a dangerous man because he knows what they're looking for, and he's willing to give it to him. And and then he goes back into like it's all zen, it's all peaceful. That's
the worst kind because then you're just like in shambles, and they're just quiet and staring at you while you're having a breakdown.
Yeah, but the fellas, we needed this. We need Alex in the house because Lord, Amir got us down bad. I mean, just dear God, But come on, Alex.
He's doing the Lord's work for Amir.
Yeah. He's doing the Lord's work. He's keeping us in the game because there's no reason why this should still be happening. Another one of Summer's beefs because there are so many to go around. Shanice, I was surprised by this because where the hell did this come from? We still talking about the Shanice clothes drama?
So I think they needed to have Shanice talk. So that's why.
Are you surprised at how this went? Andy gives Summer a chance to walk it back. Hey, if you could do anything differently, he doesn't say change your opinion about Shanice.
Yes.
He says if you could take it back and you would not have said anything, could you have just not said anything about it? And Summer says, no, I said what I said. She is the worst dressed in the house. I answered the question. I don't understand the problem. She's had plenty of time. She's had plenty of time to get close. I was like, what is happening?
And she wasn't even, oh my God. Not only that, it wasn't even her question.
It wasn't even her question.
Amir is like, who's the worst dressed in the house? And you jumped on it.
Yeah.
Summer is so insecure. Like, again, these mean girls are so loserish to me because I just feel like there's a way to cut them down and none of these girls are doing it. I feel like everyone was like letting the quote unquote villain. I don't think Summer's a villain, but I'm just saying like Alex, right? Like the person that did you wrong, you're just letting them win. It's embarrassing. Stand up.
Yeah. Shanice even calls it out. She says, if I'm such a bad dresser, why did you come to me the next day asking for my sweater? And even then, Summer's like, because you couldn't wear it as good as me. You could never dress like me. I was like,
because I know how to style it.
Yeah, you can pair it like I can. I was looking around like, bro, this is your friend? Y'all can't be friends. They're not friends in real life.
There's no way my friend is airing me out. Because then she's like, also on Watch What Happens Live, now that you got money, I still think it looks bad.
Bruh.
Oh my God. Terrible.
From a friendship standpoint, that's over. That's a wrap. You'd not fit clown me on TV like that.
And
from a television standpoint.
Good. Like, you know, like, why are they acting like she's some like Shrek looking person that can't dress? She looks great.
I need more Summer on television. I'm sorry. You know, look, we saw her in hell this season. She was going through. She had a lot of personal trauma that we see her trying to work through. It seems like she's figured that out, and she's still mean, as hell.
And she did say I don't think she wants to come back for season 3. So like I wonder if that was part of it, where a lot of people were like, well, we just don't want to come back. Fine, there's more. Chappell will come.
Yeah, I will not. Please. But I've seen on Facebook that despite the pause, they are still taking applications for season 3. A lot of the people in my Facebook network have been posting about how they have been applying for the show still. So it feels to me like they're putting it on pause so they can recast and go with a different group of people. And
then you must, and you would be the nucleus. You see what I'm saying? You bring your friends, and can I come for like when all the other like non-black people?
we're like, okay, we're bringing in Simon and Sasha.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We haven't really talked about Simon at all. Bria and Simon are they're still holding strong, but the entire cast has come to her separately and says Simon is a clout chaser. He's really only like messing with Bria because she's on television, and Bria kind of confirms that. She says they don't have this in Germany, so he likes it. And maybe that's why he decides to show his ass and try to get all the attention on him. Were you surprised by this element of their relationship?
I feel like, is this a relationship, or is this at this point, maybe at least I'll say, is it a relationship or is this a agreement? Simon got money. So are we just like, oh, you know, maybe she's okay with that? Because if your significant other tells on TV that they have another soulmate, what are we doing?
Sasha, you are married. You watch this scene. Bria is telling people in the house, my soulmate is not Simon. My soulmate is in Tribeca. You are Simon in this moment, Sasha. I want you to be in these shoes. You hear your lovely husband, Karthik, saying, I'm married to Sasha. She is my partner in life. She is not my soulmate. My soulmate is in Tulsa. What do you say?
I say I need bail money. I committed a murder. That's it. There is no way. Here's the thing. I don't believe in soulmates. I think people put so much pressure on your partner. Soulmate idea is stupid. I'm sorry. It's not because you don't love your partner. I just think that those crazy people that like put so much pressure on one person, right? Like, oh, this one person has to give me everything, and they have to be the yin to my yang, and they have to do X, Y, and Z. No, they're just a great person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. And guess what? If you're doing life right, you should be meeting interesting people for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy to think that you're not going to be, I don't mean like, you know, I don't mean romantically you'll be meeting other people, but I just feel like you're always going to meet interesting people. Like for us doing podcasts, for folks that don't know, Chappell and I are part of this RHAP Up Podcast class of 2020, and we didn't know people, right, that talked reality TV in our real lives, and then we all met each other, and it feels so exciting. That's not something I share with my partner because he's just not into that stuff. That doesn't mean he's all of a sudden not like the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, and now this new person's my soulmate. It's just people meet like exciting people, and you should be cultivating friendships. Like I hate people that put so much pressure on their relationships. It's dumbassery. And that's why I think Bria's not in love with him. And that's why I think that it's just a convenience, and that he supplies her a lifestyle that she wants.
Yeah, because she
Sorry
says
for
the
the rant.
long distance is the thing that really puts a strain on their relationship, right? She says, I'm not there to clean for him, to cook for him while he manages his business. And so,
Imagine someone saying that to you, to be like, the only reason Chappell is mad at me is because I'm not cooking and cleaning for him.
right. Meanwhile, you're on TV telling people I'm not your soulmate and that you have a different, like, if it's okay if you don't believe I'm your
And asking
soulmate.
people to co-sleep with you.
But right. Oof. You know.
Is Bria what we think Nick is?
Probably. I'm just, I think Bria might see a lot of herself in Nick, or be projecting a lot of herself onto Nick. And so like, yeah, because why do you feel this way? And Nick notably left her hanging when she brought up the co-sleeping issue. So interesting that those are the two people who are on, in that argument.
Yes.
Yeah. We also get the update about Simon and Bria's conversation about Nick's party that was in honor of his line brother. Basically, we all agree that it was not the time or the place for him to bring out the flamingo and to really push get the attention on him, but when the cast talks about it, they all have come to Bria separately and said, we're not loving the Simon of it all. And so they do a good job of presenting that they're very welcoming to Simon on television. And I think they do enjoy him around, but they don't feel like this is the person for Bria. So then we have two relationships now that are I won't say up in the air, but that the family does not support. They're not a fan of the Bria and Simon, and they're not a fan of the Natalie and Amir. To me, give me Bria and Simon every time. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's just, I don't know. It makes me laugh because Bria is a hot mess, but she gives everything. Simon is a great +1 in that he gives us mess when he shows up. What more do I want?
Yeah. We definitely don't. And again, that's why I said I'm kind of torn on the Natalie and Amir of it all.
Yes.
Because although they're boring while they're together, Natalie is definitely just gave us the mess that we needed to carry us to what potentially
could things up.
Yeah, and I think that might be what we might need for the next season of Martha's Vineyard if it ever comes back. What if they take Natalie, they make her the center of the friend group, and they use the Natalie friends to build the new season? Because it doesn't feel like this group of people is going to be back on our television screens. I've been seeing a lot of social media posts, a lot of people saying like, hey, we gave it a good run, but we're going to work on ourselves, and we're going, we might not be back. Me and my cast were all growing as people. It felt like a lot of goodbyes, Sasha, for these people.
And that's what I'm saying. I wonder maybe that we are making it too big of a deal. Maybe the pause is to just get a new cast.
But that would suck though, because we see a lot of these Bravo casts last for a long time, and you get to grow older with the people. But also, I think you only want a specific group of like an age range and group of people for these people, right? Eventually, they're going to get to the point where, like, okay, if y'all are all in relationships, and having children and stuff, maybe it's time to move on to something else. Maybe.
Ugh, it's terrible, I must say. But the thing is, and maybe I'm crazy, but I just feel like there is a moment, right, that Jersey Shore captured. And I think all these reality TVs casts have been trying to get back there.
Yeah, like we want that energy.
Yes. And I just think that you have to have seriously unhinged people that have never heard of reality TV. That's the only way that Jersey Shore crazy concept works. Because those people were going nowhere. They were going to the damn store and Karma to party. That's it.
literally gym, tan, and laundry were
Yeah.
their hobbies, you know, and drinking. That's what we need. These people have too much depth. We have people
Mhm.
that Summerhouse Martha's Vineyard. These people are smart. They're successful. They got money. They got a degree. Like, you know what? Whatever metric you're using, these people are presenting themselves like an upper echelon, and you know,
Correct.
and sometimes you need to go the opposite direction. You know what I'm saying? Now, no disrespect to the Zeus Network, but I think they might have the right idea over there.
Not the Zeus.
Hey, them people over there be
Oh
wildin',
my
okay? And they don't care
god.
who sees.
That's what I'm saying. Like, unfortunately, that's what works. And I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. But I also yeah, do wish that they were just more single people. Because I
Yeah.
don't like care necessarily just to watch like folks like stuck on Martha's Vineyard and just kind of talking.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, like, do we need to present more prominent black figures or more like
Mhm.
successful, or as
Exactly.
Preston, you know, does that like in his disdain, he was pointing out that the idea of black excellence in and of itself is just saying like, okay, we think we're better than people because we've checked out these boxes, right? And so it's like,
Mhm.
do we need a show for that? Maybe we do. We need a space for everybody, right? Everybody needs to be represented. But if you're going to give us a show that represents that, but it's also messy, you got to give us the mess. And I think the mess here is like a lot of people in relationships that are like, oh, kind of sniping at each other a little bit. You
Mhm.
know, a lot of friends that are just not seeing eye to eye and their little conversations. And then when you bring in these extra people, that's when you really get the pot stirred. So if you want a messy show, you got to give us some mess. You know, this is almost there. I think that the show is good. I'm very much enjoying it, but you
Mhm.
know, we're bringing up old drama to talk about the reunion that to me it's kind of ho hum. Even in this
Yeah,
episode, we get
agreed.
Andy talking about Phil and Mariah. I'm like, come on. Are we still doing this?
My nose literally say, "Who cares?"
Yeah, come on. Mariah wants Amir to apologize. She feels like he did not apologize enough. Interesting enough, Jasmine does kind of lean toward Mariah's side. She says that Amir was
Mhm.
trying to act like he had nothing to do with it, like kind of hands off, like, oh, I just
Yeah,
walked in on the situation when he probably should have asserted himself and said, you know what, my bad, and taken more of
correct.
accountability. But I don't know. I'm kind of with Amir on this. You know, the hair is not why y'all were fighting. Y'all were fighting because you don't like Bria.
Uh, I think that he had a part in it, but he is not it's a minor part in
Right.
it, but he did. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. And then we also talk about Phil and his insincere apology to Preston. Preston thought it was sincere in the moment. Well,
Mhm.
said it was sincere in the moment, but then later on said it was insincere. Honestly, doesn't matter. It's just them saying, like, hey, why didn't you say something in the moment? He's like, what do you want me to do? Talk about everybody's friend that everybody seems to like and just be the only person putting their foot down? It's like, nah, I was willing to shut it down. And so yeah. Um,
Oof.
you
R
know,
ridiculous.
again, some petty drama, but nothing crazy. I did find it fascinating that they called Natalie the bone collector. Is that what we call people who's like, is that what it is when they like the person in the middle of the mess, they're the bone collector? Is that an official title? Am I late?
Yes, this is a bone collector. I know it from Atlanta, Real Housewives of Atlanta, where Candy is the bone collector.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's the
Yeah.
person with the T with who's gonna be messy about it.
Right. And yeah, you got Natalie for that one for sure. Anything else that we haven't talked
Oh,
about?
no, Sheree is called a bone collector. Well,
Oh,
Sorry, Candy just has the T. Thank God I looked it up. Yeah. But anyway, it's just I find it so funny because yeah, the bone collector is the messy person, and Sheree is was the bone collector.
well, welcome Natalie to that elite club of people. Is there anything
Mhm.
we haven't talked about that we need to discuss?
No, to me that was it. Yeah, I wonder where this is gonna go. I hope it comes back because I think it was a great show. It's a really light, fun show. The last thing I did want to bring up is that folks were mad about the reunion set where they were like,
No.
well, why are we at Watch What Happens Live and not like, in the Housewives and Southern Charm gets like something with the theme,
Mhm.
of the show. So like maybe a Martha's Vineyard, set. Like why didn't they get that? Because Housewives do. Bravo, they barely have people in the room for the Bravo reunions. So I just want to say like it can come off that it isn't equitable, but I feel like Below Deck, one of the shows that like it's literally never gonna stop at this point. Um gets the Watch What Happens reunion. Like,
Mhm.
that's set, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I understand where folks are coming from, but I don't think that is the issue. The issue is to cancel the damn show.
Right. So if the show is not only on pause and is canceled, it will be
Yes.
a number, like add to a number of shows that are minority led that people have found a lot of joy in that haven't gotten the chance to really breathe. Rap shit
Correct.
also canceled.
Yes.
It's just like, bro, I think Grand Crew was also canceled.
Mhm.
In 2020,
Is P
we
Valley
saw
coming back? I think so, thank God.
they've been listen, never mind. You're gonna get me angry if we start talking about
Yeah,
P
yeah,
Valley because why
yeah.
is it taking so long? What are y'all doing? But in 2020, we had a lot of really good conversations about race and representation on television and giving a space for a lot of people. And as Sasha has pointed out, a lot of that is going away. So I don't know if that is a sign of the times, if maybe the DEI of it all is wearing off and now people are like, okay, let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yep.
But for people who enjoy these shows, make sure you watch the shows, share the shows, talk about the shows, put other people on the shows, because if you do not, people will look at the ratings as a reason to shut it down. Are ratings reasons to
Mhm.
shut shows down? Of course they are. But when you have shows that are less prominent, that are minority led, you have to put more of an effort into putting them up front. You know what I'm saying? To make it equitable. It is not the same level for everybody. It is making other people reach the levels that the other levels like. So if I need to boost this show more,
Correct.
to put it at the same level as Summer House proper, then that's what we do. That's equity, not just, oh, we're going to give it the same amount of social media presence as everybody else. So,
And then hope
but
that folks follow along. That's just not reality.
it's not reality, and that's just not what we're doing here. So again, if you like these shows, talk about them, like them, put your friends on them, join the conversation, and of course,
Yeah,
join us here on Recap Kickback where we talk about these shows. Sasha, this has been so much fun. Thank
I
you for putting me
know.
on this show
I'm
specifically.
glad you decided to jump in. I know I've been bullying you, and I will get you on the show one day.
I will not go on that show. You would have to apply me and then also kidnap me and then also drop me off in Martha's Vineyard. And
All
honestly,
very possible things.
pick a different location. Summer for me, you want me there? Summer House, Vegas. Summer House,
Oh, interesting. Martha's
Summer
Vineyard
House,
is really
Cancun.
cool.
It is cool, but also like again, if
Yeah.
you are now lowering your standards to come get me.
But
So you need to
the
go somewhere.
problem is that you would have nothing to eat, just like me in
Oh
Martha's
God,
house,
yeah,
in Martha's
yeah,
Vineyard,
no,
because of your seafood allergy. So maybe
right.
that is not the time for you. Ugh, boo.
Yeah. Summer House, Inglewood. Summer House, you know
Oh,
what I'm saying? Like Summer House where I can get to some tacos or some chicken or something like that.
yeah,
Like I
folks are
can't.
talking about Summer House, New York. Like maybe you just follow the New
Okay.
York people living their life, like not just like a summer house thing. So I
Yeah.
was like, so real world?
Right.
I'm
I mean,
confused.
the pause for a show like Summer House, the one good thing we know about it is that because this show is only during the summer,
Yeah.
a pause could just mean a pause. It really could. But I think with the loss of all these other shows, it's really hard to really have faith that it will be coming back. And so we will keep our fingers crossed and we will see
Mhm.
what happens. But until then, Sasha, it's been fun. Tell everybody what you've been
Yes.
working on.
Yes, you can find me, of course, talking celebrity gossip, vibes only, you name it. Kirsten McKennis and I are talking about it over on Mess Magnets. You can find us on Rob as a website /mess feed. And of course, like you said, you and I are talking below deck. We just wrapped up the finale over on Rob has a podcast and the Bravo TV RHAP Up feed. Listen, and of course, we're coming back, baby. So check that out. And I'm talking Jet Lag, the game, which is a really fun YouTube show with Taryn over on Rob as a podcast as well. So check all of that out. And again, thank you, Chappell, for having me. My first show on Recap Kickback, and I'm just honored.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have you back because it's a crime that we didn't have me, you, and Brycey on at the same exact time to talk about something. So
The
you
worst.
know, we'll figure out something. But thank you all for joining me. And Sasha, you of course know you can find me here on Recap Kickback for all the other coverage. G and I wrapping up our Abbott Elementary finale coverage as well, coming soon. And then we got some other stuff coming. A Netflix show. I think we're gonna do Act Your Age on Netflix, episodes 1 and 2, just to talk about that. Season 1 is already out, but of course, in order to get season 2 going, we got to make sure that we're still talking about these shows and keeping the conversation going. So subscribe to Recap Kickback, recapkickback.com/subscribe, and then follow follow me on all social media platforms at Recap Kickback to keep up with all the other things I have going on and coming your way here on this very podcast. But until next time, you ain't got to go home, but you definitely got to get the hell up out of here. We will talk to you all later. Peace.